Hello everyone, thank you for joining the Zenly URLA training. To hear the audio throughout the entire session, enable or adjust your computer audio. If computer audio isn't possible, you do have a link in your registration confirmation email to download the GoToWebinar app through your Apple or your Android device. Before we start, let me put our housekeeping with our legal disclaimer on the screen, give you a chance to read that. If you do have a question during the webinar pertaining to today's topic, then you can enter your question in the question box that's in the GoToWebinar area over on the right. We have several support staff ready to answer your questions. If it doesn't pertain to today's topic, then you can call our support line at 1-800-342-2599. I will be your presenter today. My name is Allie Whitaker, and I'm a professional services consultant here at Calyx Software. Today we're going to be covering entering all of the sections into the new URLA that is inside Zenly. We're going to walk through pulling credit and then pulling those liabilities back in. And then we're going to preview each of the sections of the new URLA with the information that we just entered. So I've opened up Zenly here, and we're just going to start at the top. We've got our loans highlighted, that tab. This is where we're going to be working today. This is where your pipeline is going to be, where you can start loans and continue working on those that you currently have in process. We're going to walk through the new application, how to input that in here, and what it looks like on a print preview for you. So let's go ahead and get started with this borrower's information area. Up at the top, you do have the select form application. This is going to give you the ability to print on the old 1003 or the new 1003. So I'm going to change it to the 2021 loan application, and then we can continue on. I'm going to have this loan be a primary residence and check about the assets of a borrower's spouse. All right, continuing down, we've got our borrower and our co-borrower sections. I'm going to enter in our borrower's information here. Put in his birthday. It did auto-calculate his age for us. I'm going to select him as unmarried. I'm going to scroll down a little bit for us. These options below you can fill out. They are the disclosure consent, first-time home buyer. These are more just for your own record inside of your file. You can also select the relationship on title here. We're going to go with an unmarried man. And application taken, we're going to say it was over the internet. Since I did select that unmarried status, right below here the unmarried addendum is available. So if he did have shared property rights, I'll select yes here. The next area, the domestic relationships, will be available then. And you can select that. Below that, we continue on. We have the telephone contact information. We've got an add button off to the side. You have a drop down here. You can select what type of phone number you'd like to add, and mark that to be the preferred contact if that is. You do have Save and New buttons and Save and Close at the bottom, so if you do wish to add another contact, you can click Save and New and repeat that. Maybe you want to put a mobile number in as well. And save and close that. All right, below we have our address section, so again we're going to click Add. And we can select the type of address. If it is their current, we're going to select that, and the occupancy will open up. We're going to say that he rents this. Gives us the ability to enter the rental and length of time. I am going to drop down to the postal code. If you enter in the zip code here and select tab, it will fill in the city and state for you as well as that county. So that is a nice way to go through the application a little faster. So I'm going to click Save and Close here. And we can move on to the employment section. Going to click Add again here, and you can type in the employer information off to the left. So I'm going to type in that they work at National Consulting here. And oops, once again down to the zip code and tab for it to fill in that information for us. Fill in that phone number here. Over to the right, this is where you get to put if this is their current job or a previous job. We're going to keep this one as a current job and their primary. I'm going to mark them as a consultant here in their job position, and we can have their start date. You can either select the calendar there or manually type in the date. I'm going to go down and save and close this one for us. All right, we need to scroll down a little more so we can see the income. Click on the income add button, and we have our drop down for our section. Since we just added the national consulting, that is now available in our drop down. So we'll select the national consulting, and this gives us the ability to input what type of income he gets from this national consulting. I'm going to say that he gets a base, and I can type in the monthly amount. If you do have other income from this employer, you can click Save and New and repeat this. So we can say he also gets a bonus. And we can save and close that. For other income that is not from a company or employer, select Add again. And now in the section drop-down, rather than selecting National Consulting, we have Other Source as an option. When we select that, the second source drop-down will be available for us with new options. So in here, you can always go through and select what you are needing. I'm going to go with some Social Security here and type in a monthly amount. All right, we have completed section 1 of the application. So I'm going to go up to the Save button on the top right. Save that, and we're going to go pull up a print preview of what that application does look like in the printed form. To see the print previewed option, we're going to go over to Documents up at the top. And we're going to go on the far left to Generate. It's going to bring up a list where we can filter out if we want to see it by application, processing, or underwriting. We are in the application section, so I'm going to select that, and it is going to populate a list for us. I'm going to scroll down until we get to our loan application. Select that, and over on the right now, the document group has given us the loan application. We could add more documents if we wanted, but it's given us a piece of paper that says preview above it. When we select that, we will be able to preview this document. All right, this is page 1 of the application. We have section 1, personal information, filled out. This is where Ken Customer Jr.'s information does populate. Scroll down, this is his phone number, address, his employer with the income off to the right, and then on to the second page here. This is the other income source that we were inputting for Social Security. Next section we're going to work on is that financial information. You can see right below there the assets and liabilities. So let me go back over into Zenly for us. I've switched back over to Zenly in the Application tab and Borrower. We're going to go to Section 2, which is the financial information, the assets and liabilities. So we're going to scroll down the screen. And as I scroll, you will notice that the Borrower page has been reorganized to follow more of the application format now. So it will be matched up as you're entering it. Our next section is the assets right there, the bank accounts and other accounts. We're going to go ahead and add some of that information in. On the left, you've got the location of your asset, so you can put in the company there. And off to the right, you do have that add button for the account. This gives you a list or type of options that you have for assets. I'm going to go with that we have a checking account at this location. Select Ken as my owner of that account and enter the value there. We're going to go with 50,000 and save and close this. You also have the ability to add other assets or accounts here. You can add them from proceeds from sale, also credits. You can add that into this asset section as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Click Add and select Add again. And in our types in here, I can select that we have some earnest money to put down. And I'm going to select Ken as my customer and say that he put $1,000 down on this contract. Save and close that one. And you can see in the asset section, it is now separated out. Credits and then earnest money is listed separately below that. Below we have gifts and grants received. Let me click Add here. It will have a separate list in the type, giving you the option to put in if they got a gift or a grant. I'm going to select that they got a gift. We have the deposited drop down. This is going to become important when you're running Desktop Originator. If you do select yes that you have deposited this amount, Desktop Originator is not going to give you credit when it runs that because it does assume that you've already put that amount into your checking or your savings account. If you select no, it is going to give you credit for that gift in your Desktop Originator as an additional asset. Over to the right, you have the source of funds here. I'm going to say that a parent gave us this cash gift and put $5,000 there and close this. So we have that cash gift separated out below that area, giving us a subtotal of liquid assets and of total assets down there. Now our next section is this liabilities area. Let me scroll down a little bit for you. for this section, we do need to go pull in our credit report. So I'm going to go up to the top and click Save. And we're going to go over to our Services area and pull in a credit report. So up to our Services tab. The first one we have here on the top left is credit reporting, so we're in the correct area. The top section, you have the credit agency. This will have a list of available credit companies for you. Select that, and below you can select the action type. This is if you're ordering a new report or pulling in an existing report that you may have run on their website. I'm going to go with Order New Report here. And the top right, you can select the credit report type. Once you've selected that, the buttons above that will be available. I'm going to click Submit. Alright, it's populated our report for us here. We can scroll through it and review. It will be stored so you can look at this later. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Alright, right below where we did the credit order, we have a results area. I'm going to highlight that. This gives you the time when you ran the credit, the user, the report number, and off to the right of that you have an orange down arrow. This is where you're going to actually import those liabilities into your application. So you do want to make sure you go over and select that. And it'll give you the option if you want to ignore closed and zero balances. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to make a cleaner application and select yes. All right, let's go ahead and save and go back into our application and see those liabilities. So back over to our application tab. We're still in borrower, so I'm going to scroll down. And we've got liabilities. These are what pulled in from your credit report that we just pulled. Off to the right there, you do have a white piece of paper with some lines beside credit report. If you click on this, it is going to populate that view of the credit report for you so you can review it again. I'm going to close that down. All right, back inside with our liabilities. If there's a liability that you need to have added to this list that's not currently there, you do have that ability. I'm going to click Add over here, and we're going to add in a mortgage. I'm going to say that Chase owns this one. Go down, and the credit account type, this is where you can pick if it's an installment, mortgage, or revolving. I'm going to pick that mortgage there. And over on the right, fill out the information about that mortgage. All right, below that you now have some options to mark it paid off at closing, resubmitting, and omitting options. You also have options now for your mortgage loans at the bottom. You can mark what type of loan it is and mark if it includes taxes and insurance as well. Let me save and close this one here. All right, you'll notice that it did not populate inside of that liability section as we expected. It's now going to populate below that. You can see at the bottom of the screen. I'm going to scroll up so you can see that a little better. It's in the unmatched mortgage liabilities. So any liability that pulls into with your credit report that is a mortgage is automatically going to come down to this unmatched mortgage liabilities area for you. I wanted to add the mortgage so I could show you how you will match it up with the REO. You're going to go ahead and on that real estate that is just right above that unmatched mortgage liabilities, go ahead and click Add there. And this is where you're going to add that REO information. If it's your subject property, you can select that. I'm going to enter a street address here. You've got your number of units and information below. I'm going to say single family residence. And then you've got your other options: pending, retained, and sold. And continue to fill this part out. We're going to say this one is an investment property. All right. Since I did put in some gross rent there, if I click on the calculate over here, it is going to give me a net rent based on the occupancy of the 75%. Below that, you do see a select button off to the left, an orange matched mortgages. You can select this and it will give you a list of all the other mortgages that you have in that unmatched area. You can check that box and save and close, and that will match it up. There's also another way to match it, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel this so I can show you that. I'm going to save and close this one. All right, so now you can see we still have an unmatched mortgage here because I did not save that, and the real estate above. Another way that you can match them up is to select this unmatched mortgage liability. I'm going to click on it and drag it up to my real estate that I want to match it with. Soon as I do that, they link together. I click that orange, and you can see they are now tied together. So either way works. All right, let's go ahead and save this, and we can view our application. All right, back over to our documents. I'm going to generate again by my application, and then pull up that loan application here, this preview. All right, we're going to scroll down to section 2. That's what we were working on, this assets and liabilities. So up top you can see our checking that we entered, our earnest money there. We have our liabilities listed here. And section 3 is our real estate. So this pulls in that liabilities that we just matched to our property. Let me close that down and we can go back into our application, back onto our borrower page here. Section 4 that we've got is the loan and property information, and that is our next tab. Let's jump over to the loan tab and fill out a little bit about the property that we are going to be purchasing. All right, inside the loan information here, scroll down a little bit, you can select the type of loan that you are completing with this borrower, your purpose here. If you have construction, you have that option here. If you do have a second or a simultaneous, you now have the option to select that. And your amortization type. You will notice that the loan information has been separated out. We've got the note detail here, so I'm going to go with 400,000. This is where you can put your note information and look at your ratios also. All right, I'm going to put in our loan amount down here. And it will calculate our monthly payment now that we've got the amount, the note rate, and the term and due selected. If it is rental income on a subject property, that you have that broken out now right below for you. So if you want to put in that gross rent, then you can do so here. and I'm going to select calculate. It is going to give me that net rent to put on the application. Below you can see in these gray boxes we have our LTVs being automatically calculated. Let me scroll a little more. This is our ratio section. So you've got your debt to income ratios all calculating in this area. Below that, you do have your private mortgage insurance area. So if you do have upfront, the left side is for that, and you can put the percentage in there. Over on the right is that monthly. So if you needed to go get a rate quote, you could go out and get that and enter the percentage up at the top to add that to your loan. On a conventional loan, you could then put in the canceling and midpoint cancellation payments. Below that, in the loan section, we have rate adjustments. So if you are doing an ARM and you need to put in those changes or margin, this is the information area to put that, as well as below that the payment adjustments. So if you've got interest only or some initial payments, graduated payments, this section will allow you to update that. All right, below that, you've got the buy down mortgage option. You can add that with your add button here. You can have your rate and how long they are buying that down. This is the extra payment section. This will show on the amortization right below. So if they were paying $1,000 extra every 12 months, that would then calculate on that AM schedule right below. So let me scroll down and show you that did alter. All right, let's go ahead and save this section. We're going to continue on the far left underneath loans where we are currently. We're going to go down to subject property and continue filling out information. I'm going to put in the property location. Drop down to the zip code and let that fill it in. It will have the information below that you can fill in on lot date acquired if you are doing a construction or construction to perm. Over on the right, you've got the attachment type, attached or detached. Your structure if you do have a co-op or condominium. And the construction method if that is your type of loan. Again, you've got the mixed use property options here and community property state options. Scrolling down, we have energy improvement options. You can select off to the right and it will give you the options that you can put onto this loan if needed. Title is in this area. You can put how the title is going to be held and if it will be held in state fee simple or the leasehold. And below that, names on the title. So if you do have just the borrower, you can copy borrower. That will automatically put it down there. If you do want to put other names on title, you would just select add right beside that. Down below that, we have a summary here. This is our proposed housing expenses. So far, we've got that first mortgage that calculated when we did the loan information, our loan amount, term and due, and our interest rate. We did put that mortgage insurance in there as well, but you probably need to go ahead and add in your hazard and your county taxes. So let me go ahead and click add here. And we get a drop down of options for expenses. Now select our hazard here. And you've got the option for fee percentage or a dollar amount. I'm just going to go with dollar amount here and do save and new so we can add in those taxes. All right, property taxes there, 500, and I'm going to save and close that. That's going to give us our total proposed housing expense down here at the bottom. Scrolling a little further, down here we have the subordinate financing. So if you do have loans that you are putting after this, you need to add that information in here. First, it'll give you your lien position, and you can fill that information in that you've got for your second loan. We go ahead and save that one. And we can go over to our documents and preview this section 4. Get our application again, and from our list, loan application. And preview. We'll scroll down to our section 4. That's our loan and property information that we just filled out. So each section does have that black header above it. We've got our information about our purchase, our address, any rental income that we are proposing on this, and the gift section that we filled out earlier is now showing on this section here, showing it is not deposited gift from our parents at $5,000. All right, let's close this one out. The next sections that we've got are section 5, which are the declarations. That is back in our application and borrower section. So if you did just continue down your borrower area, you would have come to your declarations. So we've got all of our declarations here. We'll start with our citizenship. And you have questions all the way down. Some are grayed out. They are going to take the response of the question above. So if you do fill out this one saying yes, the one below that will then open up, whereas it was gray before. You have all of your declarations here that you can go down and fill out all the way down. If you get to the bottom, you have the option for have you declared bankruptcy within the last 7 years. If you do select yes, this is going to open up an area for you to give a description of that, as well as a select button, so you can choose the type of bankruptcy that you did file. All right, so we've got that part listed in there. Section 7 is the military service. It is a new part of the application, and that is shown right below here, the military service status. So to get that select option to highlight, you need to answer the question above if you have served or are a surviving spouse. So if you do select yes, that select button will then highlight, allowing you to select the options inside if you are current duty or the surviving spouse. Additional information here, you can add in any other types of IDs that you wish to have noted in there. You can do driver's license here and the state, entering that information to save. Section 8 of the application follows up with the demographic information of the borrower. So that one's just right above this declarations that we were filling out. Right in here. So you do have the ability to add in the ethnicity if they choose, or you can select that they did not wish to furnish that information. So let me click add here and we can add in an ethnicity. We've got our drop down. As we select, the next designation will give us a list according to what we have selected previously. On gender, we do have the option here for your selection, if it was a visual observation or not, and race. Let me click add here. This one gives you drop downs. So if we went with Asian here, the designation box does adjust and give us the options for Asian. So let's go ahead and save that and look at that last section inside of our application. All right, so back over to our documents. I'm going to generate that again by application, and then go find our application in our list with preview. All right. We just finished section 4, so we are in section 5. So section 5 gives you your declaration area. You'll go down there. They either have a yes or a no, and now you have some other options, like we selected the Chapter 11 in the bankruptcy. Scroll down, we do have section 6, which is the acknowledgments and agreements. This is the page that the borrower is going to sign, and it's got some legal information as well. Section 7 here, this is our military service that we filled out. It's a small section. And then we've got our demographic information below that. So it'll put those check boxes in as we selected it inside of our application. Underneath that, this is going to be your loan originator information. This is what we did at the very beginning when we went to contacts and added your name as the loan originator and made sure we had our organization in there. Let me scroll down a little further. Since we did select the unmarried option at the beginning, we have this unmarried addendum that will also populate for you. If you don't select unmarried as an option, this will not populate and will not be part of your application. I'm going to scroll down. We do have the lender loan information. These are the last 2 pages of an application. This is going to be a summary of your loan and information who is on title. So this will be the summary of information from previous pages that you've put into loan and subject property, as well as the mortgage terms that you put in with the proposed payment. Page 2 of the lender loan information is going to be more of a cash to close summary, showing you what is due from your borrower and total credits, showing at the bottom what is either due to them or from them. Thank you for attending today's webinar on the new URLA. We hope you've received helpful information. At the end of the session, you're going to receive a quick 5-question survey, and we would appreciate you completing that so we can improve our training program and follow up with you if you so choose. We do offer one-on-one customer training with our professional services consultants if you have topics you'd like to cover. To further assist you, a recording of this webinar will be available through the Calix customer portal very soon. I hope you have a great rest of your day.